Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is RandoGEEK. So, this is one of those stories, you know, people love to complain, right? There are certain customers that have access to, either Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. They like to complain about service not being good enough. They live in these small rural towns with like 50 people, and they complain that the service is not good enough, that these companies don't do enough to bring better service to them. And then when there is a proposal met with one of the three big carriers, and then the councils of the town, and they finally get together and say, listen, let's come out here and build some good quality networks for you and the people of your town, right? So the tourists will have better service, the residents that own homes there and businesses, local businesses will have better service. Let's do this for you. There's always someone or someone's complaining about it. And that's what we're talking about here. So I'll drop the link, of course, below in the description. We're talking about Verizon getting some pushback from a local town. Looks like Mantua is the town, and it's part of Northern Virginia. So it looks like Verizon wants to kind of increase service and build a new tower near a tennis court at Fairfax County Community Swim and Tennis Club, which there's a lot of residents there. There's, I think, some local businesses, and it's probably like a touristy attraction as well. So they want to try to build up better service. It looks like the Mantua Swim and Tennis Court Club is scheduled to host a meeting for its 600 member households to vote on a plan that would allow Verizon to install a 150-foot wireless tower next to the court. The scheduled vote is for a proposed bylaw amendment, they're saying. Verizon would need to get zoning approval from the county if members vote to advance the proposal. So there's a statement. The club says it has provided independent studies and detailed responses to anticipated questions to its member households, saying the plan, it said, would help improve service for Verizon customers, something some residents have advocated for. So, like I said, there's some customers that have complained about Verizon service not being good enough. Verizon and the town is trying to strike a deal, trying to get on the same page so that they can provide better service to these members and residents of the area that are having difficulties using their phone the way that they want. So that would be this 150-foot wireless tower. Of course, there's always going to be some residents in the neighborhood that fear that the tower would be an eyesore and decrease their property value. So basically, in short terms, they find it ugly. A lot of residents in these smaller types of towns don't want it looking like a larger city, which means they don't want these large, you know, towers popping up, right, basically, and being all in their face. They want to see trees, they want to see the sky, they want to see cornfields, they whatever it is that they have there. This is what they want to look at, and seeing these towers just kind of puts fear in them. Not to mention, many of these residents still believe that 5G is bad for them. So that's a lot of that in this article as well. There's just a lot of pushback, and they're basically blocking, or standing in the way, possibly, of Verizon being able to put this through. And I just find it interesting, with as long as 5G's been out now already, and as many towers as we have, that people are still saying that 5G is bad for them and that it's going to cause a problem. But then also, how just besides the health effects, they also don't like the look of these towers, yet they want to complain about the service. Now, some residents, they're like, listen, we'll find another carrier, a local carrier that can provide good service. We don't need Verizon. At least, they're willing to do something about it, I guess, try to get service from a local carrier and move on with it. They're not trying to really get involved with the decision making. They just don't want to be a part of it. So they're doing their own thing, and at least respectfully, they're not really trying to bring Verizon down. But I guess I just find this interesting that we're still seeing these types of articles. They're saying that it's a very foresty community with about 1,600 homes, and they're saying cell service can be poor because of those trees, and it's just too rural, right? There's not enough towers for service to connect on, and this is why they're trying to get out there and build. And I think the city wants to try to build this area up and get better service so that when there are tourists, they can stay connected too. If you have people coming from larger cities to come visit this town, maybe they do want to get away and get some peace and quiet from the big city life. They still want to use their phones. They still want to use their laptops. Some of these people are traveling for business and they have to do work when they get to these quiet little rural towns. They want to be able to concentrate and have peace of mind, but they need to stay connected to the internet. And if service is really bad there, they're not going to be able to do that. And yes, hotels have Wi-Fi, but maybe they don't want to use Wi-Fi. Maybe they like to use their own phone service that they pay for. In this case, say Verizon. And the same thing with the residents there. There are some that do want better service, that don't mind the towers being there, that aren't afraid of 5G causing them health, issues. So, it's a mixed bag here, but as always, we do have the bad apples here that are always trying to intervene and cause a disruption when the carriers actually try to get to work. Think about it. It is costly for Verizon to come out into a smaller city and build, right? Because there's not enough people there, and they have to maintain those towers, and they have to have servicemen come out every so often and make sure that everything is working. And something does go down, they have to go out there and repair it. So it's not cheap for Verizon to do this. So when Verizon actually considers it and makes a deal with these small local towns, they should take up on it, because these are the same customers that will complain that they don't have good service, and that they're still relying on a landline because wireless service is poor. But then at the same time, you don't let companies come out and make wireless service better for you. So you know what I mean? This basically, we can spin our wheels here discussing this, but yeah, just wanted to bring this to your attention. Feel free to let me know what you think about this here. Read the article if you want. Some valid points here are the construction danger, right? So I guess, maybe they don't feel that the tower will be built strong enough that it could otherwise, I guess, collapse or something. Maybe they're afraid that might happen. But these are just, I think, little cop-outs here. I think just little poor excuses for them to try to intervene and not have it built. It's really just a matter of their fear for still, 5G being dangerous for them. And also a very vain reason, too. They just don't want to look at the towers. They just don't want to look at them, but yet they want better service. I don't know. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.